streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, Cosmic Orgasm through Tantra. Cosmic Orgasm through Tantra. Before we go into certain questions, there are certain points that needs to be clarified, because these will help you to understand more about Tantra. There is one thing: duality. Life is based on duality. Morality, immorality, left, right, good and bad, inner or outer. I'll take a simple example. You want to reach somewhere. You are walking. You need 2 feet, left feet and right feet. You cannot walk on 1 foot. You move left foot forward, the right foot is stationary, then right foot is moved forward, left becomes stationary. Once becomes stationary, the other moves. And this is how you cover a distance. You cannot move the 2 feet simultaneously. It has to be alternate. Even when we are march fasting, the left foot and the right hand, they go together. But when you reach the destination, do you move the right foot and the left foot or together? The feet becomes stationary. You are not bothered about the right foot or the left foot, because you have reached the distance. You have reached the destination where you have to reach. In the same way, there are people who are always remain in conflict, whether it is outer or inner. Why are the 2 feet necessary? They are necessary for walking. And why walking is necessary? Walking is necessary to reach to your destination. What is the destination in life? On a day-to-day basis, we know that we have to go to work, we have to perform so many other things, so we need to walk for that. So 2 feet are necessary, the left and right. You cannot walk with the left foot or the right foot alone. Both are necessary and they go simultaneously. Left foot moves forward, right remains stationary, right moves forward, left remains stationary. So when you are journeying in life, and why do you journey in life? For transcendence. For that, you need the inner and outer both. You cannot live on the inner life alone or the outer. Both are necessary. You want to do the spiritual work, but you have to take care of your physical needs, that is outer dimension and the inner dimension. But transcendence is beyond the duality. This is duality, the right and the wrong, the left and the right foot, the inner and outer, the morality and immorality. So we are lost in this duality, male, female. But if you want to go both male and female, you have to use the male and female configuration. There is male and there is female in you. You have to have the union of the two. The moment that union is happened, the orgasm or cosmic orgasm happens. So we have to understand this. Tantra is not a moral concept. The moment we say moral, then immediately it comes in, is it immoral? So we always think in terms of duality, the pair of opposites. It is better to use the word pair of opposites, the right and the wrong, good and bad, day and night. A complete cycle is day and night, both unfold into one another. Day, when it finishes, it is the indication of the arrival of the night. When the night ends, it is dawn. So we use the two words, dawn and dusk. When day comes to an end, there is parting knell of the days. Then it is called dusk. It is an indication that night is coming. When it is darkest before dawn, that is an indication that it is going to be daybreak. So when morality comes to an end, the immorality or the other is the beginning, and when you complete the two, it is 24-hour cycle. Morality. So Tantra is beyond. That which is neither moral nor immoral, that is immoral. It is a science, and science is neither of the two. Your moralities and concepts concerning moral behavior are irrelevant as far as Tantra is concerned. Tantra is not concerned with how one should behave. It is not concerned with any ideals. It is concerned basically with what is and with what you are. This distinction has to be understood deeply. Morality is concerned with certain ideals, how you should be, what you should be. Therefore, morality is basically a kind of conditioning that we all have. You are neither the ideals nor you are the condemned. So, morality is a conditioning. Every morality creates guilt in an individual. When you are not able to fulfill that, guilt comes in. You can never become the ideal. You can never attain perfection. Perfection means the end of the journey. After that, the other side, the decay begins. You can never become the ideal. You are always lagging behind. You are in the process. The gap will always be there because the ideal is impossible. And through morality, it becomes more and more impossible. The ideal is there somewhere in the future, and you are here and now. You can only be in now and here, this very moment, not in future. And ideals are to be achieved at some future date. And you go on comparing. You are never the perfect man. Something is always lacking. You do something, there's something that this could have been this way. You are making a dish. When you finish, something else needs to be done. Then you feel guilt, and there comes a feeling of self-condemnation. Tantra is against self-condemnation. Because if you condemn yourself, how can there be transformation? The purpose in life is transformation. The bud transforms itself into the flower. Flower transforms itself into the seed. Seed germinates, transforms itself into a plant, and the process of growth begins. So process of growth and transformation are together. Condemnation creates a hypocrisy. Then you try to pretend to show that you are what you are not. This always happens. Hypocrisy means you are the real man, not the ideal, but you pretend. In reality, this is what you are. You are full of lust, let's say, for example, but you have been conditioned that this is wrong. So you pretend that you are not that, but you are not ideal. And that's where the hypocrisy comes. Hypocrisy means you are the real, not the ideal. So you pretend, try to show that you are the ideal. Ideal is what you want to be, and that is always future oriented. Then there comes a split. You have a false face. The unnatural man is born. Tantra is basically against. It is a search for the real man, not the unreal. In Zen, it is said that have you discovered your original face? Morality creates hypocrisy. It will do so inevitably. Hypocrisy will remain, and it remains with morality. It is part of it. Hypocrisy is the shadow of morality. Morality teaches you that you have to be this, but that can only be in future. That is future oriented. And in reality, this is what you are. So, hypocrisy remains like a shadow following morality. This will look paradoxical because moralists are the men who condemn hypocrisy the most. But hypocrisy is the shadow, and they are the creator of it. Hypocrisy cannot disappear from the earth unless morality disappears. As long as morality, the concept of morality remains, hypocrisy will remain. Both exist together. They are two aspects of the same coin, or two sides of the same coin. This is the duality. the hypocrisy and morality. Morality gives you a certain kind of ideal which is future oriented, and your reality is other than the ideal. So this creates a conflict. Morality gives you the ideal and you are not the ideal. That is why the ideal is given to you. You have to be this. You are born with it. You cannot do immediately anything about it. You cannot transform it, and it is not so easy. You can suppress, and that is the easiest thing. There are two things that you can do. You can create a false face. You can pretend to be something that you are not, and that saves you. Then you can move more easily in the society, more conveniently, and inward you have to suppress the real, because the unreal can be imposed only if the real is suppressed. You are an angry man, but in society it is not accepted. You pretend that you are not. The real, you have to suppress your anger, which is your reality, so that you have to suppress the real, because the unreal can be imposed only by suppressing the real. You have to suppress the anger, then unreal, that you are very calm and composed person, that can be imposed. So your reality goes on moving downwards into the unconscious, that you are an angry man. It goes into your unconscious layers, and that which is unreal, that is your composure, that becomes your conscious. Let me put it again in another simple way. You are an angry man, but your priests, your religious preceptors have conditioned you that anger is not good. You have to be very composed, calm, and loving. So you have to create a false face, but that can only be done by putting the makeup, the mask. The mask is the composure and very calm person. So that becomes that is unreal, because that is not your reality. So that becomes the conscious part of your life, and the real, which is your anger, goes into the subconscious, and it surfaces when it is not needed. Let me explain this with another example. On a day-to-day basis, you are dealing with as a part of the family, you are dealing with your parents, with your spouse, with your children. In the work, you are dealing with your subordinates, with your superiors. There are times when you cannot express your displeasure. You cannot express your dissatisfaction to your superiors, because your livelihood, your income is associated with it. If you go against your superiors, you may not get promotions, and that is not, we know it very well, so we do not. But when it comes to your subordinates, you can express that, because there you become the superior, and the same situation when you are between the superior and you, the same situation comes when you are dealing with your subordinates. You come home, you have asked your wife to, in the morning, that a guest will be coming with you, so prepare the dinner. But when you arrive, that is not done. So immediately what has gone into unconscious, the anger, the frustration that surfaces, and that time you say those things which are not called for at that time. This always happens, even when you are dealing with your subordinates, you say things which are not called for that time. Simple example, you had asked your spouse to do this. So instead of bringing out the unpleasant, that which is in your unconscious to the surface, say, okay, we can do something. We can just quickly prepare something, and I will assist you. In the meantime, we can offer him some snacks and tea and beverage, and then we can prepare, because we have certain things and we can manage that way. You are dealing with your subordinate, you have given him a project report to complete, he hasn't been. Okay, let us see how far you have reached. You have reached up to this point, what else you have in your mind to do? I have this thing in mind and I can just continue. Okay, come, I'll help you. I face this situation on a day-to-day basis. I have the worker, he has to do certain work. I realize that it is not finishing in a certain period of time. Come, how far you have reached? What else is to be done? You do that, I will do this here, so that we can finish in time. I recall an important anecdote in the life of Ratan Tata, the business tycoon. I should not call it business tycoon, but in India, everything right from a salt to a fighter plane is manufactured by Tata Group of companies. He owns Jaguar, Land Rover, Land Ranger, all these vehicles. One day he was going along with his team to a place for a meeting. Along the way, the tire got punctured. So they carried it to the place to get it repaired. So everyone else who were along with him, they went here and there to have a cup of tea or a stroll or something. They realized that Ratan is not seen anywhere. They looked for him. You know what he was doing? The man who was repairing the tire, the puncture, he went by him, he rolled up his sleeves, took the necktie over the shoulder, and with the tools in his hand, he was helping him. So all these people said, but you are the executive director. You're not supposed to do all this. This man is being paid to finish the job, and you are doing. You know what was his response? He said, we have to go for the meeting. And if this person does the work by himself, he may take half an hour extra. I came to assist him. We saved the half an hour or 15 minutes. So that means we will have 15 minutes more available for that meeting. My coming to assist him will speed up his work. We are already got delayed for the meeting. So our time is scheduled between 9 and 10. By the time we reach, it will be 9:30. So we have lost half an hour. So I am assisting him in that I saved the 15 minutes. So we will have more time for the meeting. Did he operate through his unconscious? No. He changed the whole mechanism. But normally when there is something that a situation comes in, it triggers off, your unconscious triggers off and comes to the surface. And we say things that are not necessary at that moment. This is the normal practice. That creates the false face. You have a face which is based on there is a reality in you, and you have to pretend the reality, and you can pretend the reality by creating a false face, and that is called hypocrisy. You are a very good looking person. The river, the lake seems to be very quiet, calm, no ripples. No ripples on the surface of the water. The moment you throw a piece of stone, disturbance that was there within the surfaces, and the ripples, the waves starts arising on the surface of the lake. So when that particular circumstances or the situation has become like a stone thrown in the tranquil waters of the lake, your mind is the tranquil water which you have to show, and the moment that circumstance and situation has come, it has come like a stone thrown into the tranquil water of the rivers, of the lake. Ripples start surfacing, waves starts arising, disturbance surfaces. So what did this person did? He did not allow. This was, nobody has a control over it. Or you may say that before you can call your subordinate, who takes care of the vehicle. How come you did this thing here? We were supposed to go to a meeting and the car break down. You're supposed to maintain. What kind of maintenance are you doing, and this and that. So at that particular time, it is needed your composure, and I'll give you an example. We are dealing with the frozen items in the store and the other items also. So all the frozen items, they have a certain space, they have to be kept in the freezers. So freezer has a limited space, but at times there are items which have expired, or when we are opening the cartoon, the packaging gets damaged, but nothing has happened with the content. We cannot sell those products. So those products are kept in a particular corner. It is kept in a corner, and then it happened a customer came. She picked up one of the packet that was open, and also it happens at times when our management team, I am there and I have nothing to eat for lunch, and I do not want to eat outside food, so I may take a packet of the any item which can be taken, like the stuffed parathas or stuffed something, and open the packet, take out one or two, have it for lunch, and keep the other packet, the remainder open packet, into that special space. So it was like that. This customer came, she took out a packet and carried, and the cashier who was to cash, he cashed it. The customer went back home, and she said her daughter was hungry. She take out something from the packet. That time she realized the packet was open. She called. Now, I did not attend to that customer. I was not present when the matter came to my mind. I have to save the reputation of the company, at the same time give the full satisfaction to the customer. So I said there was nothing wrong with it. At times we give somebody a sample, a packet is opened, and it is kept in a particular place, so nothing is wrong. It was a mistake on our part. So when you are visiting the next time to the store, we will give you, he said that, but we took out one packet. I said, that's okay, you keep it with you. When you are coming next time, we will give you another packet free of cost at our expense, and we apologize for it. It was a mistake that you did not look at it, and more so it is a mistake on the part of a miss on the part of our cashier. Is supposed to check the packet is complete, proper, expiry date, so that part of the matter is resolved. But it is not enough. What I supposed to do, two more things. In the morning, the person who takes care of the freezers, I called him. I said, this is the situation happened. How we can rectify this? So one person said, we put it in that space. I said, no, a customer can pick up from that. So the best option is we take an empty box, place it in that corner, and all those items who have a slight shortcoming, we place it in that and keep that box covered, so nobody is going into the closed box. But there can still be a possibility that somebody may take out item from that, but nobody does it, because once the item is not seen and you need assistance, you ask somebody on the floor to assist you. Then I called the cashiers. I said, this is what had happened. It is a miss on the part of us as a representative of the company. You were the one who was doing the cashing. I may do the cashing. Somebody else may do the cashing. So as a cashier, we have a certain direction to follow. When a customer brings an item for cashing, you check the item, the seal, whatever it is, the box is not opened, the seal is not opened or broken, and check the expiry date on it before you cash. This should not be missed because it affects the reputation of the business. The customers, they may not be aware of the good intention. They may see you are selling things like that. So it has to be handled at different places. If I had gotten angry with the person, cashier, or suspended him for that, it would not solve the problem. You have to work in a different way at that moment. But nothing was there under the surface in unconscious which could surface at that time. There was no false face or anything. How to handle the situation in a best possible manner, and this is the only way we could have managed. And so yes, if you do not want to be satisfied as a customer of my explanation, I cannot help you. I gave you the right explanation. It was not hidden anything. The customer as normal asked what was wrong with the packet. I said, you check the expiry date. That is what is important. The package was not damaged. Only thing is this, where it is sealed, it was not properly sealed, it was open. That means it was opened and something was taken out from that. So this is how we have to live in our life. But what happens there? There are two things that you can do. You can create a false face, and you can pretend to be something that you are not. That saves you. Then you can move more easily in the society, more conveniently. Now what I did, I explained the reality, not pretending, not showing any false face. This is how it actually happened. But to create a false situation, it is more convenient, and inwardly you have to suppress the real, because the unreal can only be imposed if the real is suppressed. So your reality goes on moving downwards into the unconscious, and your unreality becomes conscious, it comes to the surface. The anger has gone in the background, and your calmness has come onto the surface. The unreal becomes more dominant, and the real recedes back. You are divided, and the more you try to pretend, the greater the gap between the two, your unreal and real. A child is born as a whole. That is why the child is beautiful. The beauty is because of the wholeness, not because of the physical beauty. But we do not understand the beauty as a concept of wholeness. Wholeness means you are neither subconscious nor unconscious, neither unconscious nor conscious. You are neither moral nor immoral, neither inner or outer. You are whole. Whole means the coin is whole, It is not head or tail. Head and tail are two sides of the coin. The whole coin is composed of head and tail. So you are not divided into two. And that is why the coin is beautiful. Child is beautiful because of the wholeness. The life is whole. Not aggregate, it is whole. Wholeness means the conflicts have merged into one another in such a way that they become irrelevant. As a coin, the head and tail, they support one another. But your morality and immorality are always in conflict with one another. Your 2 feet are in harmony with one another, not against, whereas morality and immorality, which is a concept imposed by the society, they are against one another. But neither of the 2 feet are against one another. In the process of walking, they help one another so that you can cover the distance. But in covering the distance to reach the transformation, the opposites are necessary, the inner and the outer. Life is neither inner nor outer. Life is neither moral nor immoral. It is beyond the two. Beyond the conflict is the life of bliss. This is going to be the next topic of the publication. Beyond conflict, life of bliss. You are neither in this nor that. The 2 feet are in harmony with one another. They support one another. They help you in the process of walking, so that, and when they are in harmony with one another, a distance is covered that you need to reach your destination, to attain to transcendence, to attain to beyondness. To go beyond the duality is most essential. So the wholeness, the beauty is an aspect of wholeness. That is why every child is beautiful. Beauty is because he is whole. The child has no gap, no split, no division, no fragment. The child is one. The real and unreal are not there in him. The child is simply real, authentic. You cannot say the child is moral. You cannot say the child is immoral. He is unaware of the concept of morality and immorality. The child is neither moral nor immoral. He is just unaware of the two. But an awakened one is aware of it. He is neither moral nor immoral. He is amoral. That is why when Jesus was asked who can enter the kingdom of your Father, he said, one who is childlike. Child's innocence is an outcome of unconsciousness. He is not aware of it. The innocence of an awakened one is out of consciousness. He is aware. He is neither divided into right and wrong, good and bad, and the pair of opposites. That's why he is blissful, and that blissfulness is his beauty. That blissfulness, his very essence. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, we take you on the further journey. Someone has asked, that he get the vision of inner and outer. And I decided for a next topic, beyond conflict, life of bliss. This is beauty, this is wholeness, and that leads to transcendence. Only this much for this morning. Take care and do have a pleasant day.